It's your boy Ziggy Doom. How's everybody doing today? We are in the second week of November. Second, third week of November. Man, I'm tripping. I'm tripping. Getting one week closer to Thanksgiving, 1 week closer to the release of season 5, the first part of Stranger Things. I am a diehard Stranger Things fan. I have been watching that show since season 1, and unfortunately, the time gap between the seasons for the COVID and the writer strike, it kind of I ain't gonna say watered down the engagement, but it made it more challenging because y'all know kid actors grow up, right? They don't stay the same age in the movie. So when you're trying to put the kids at a certain age in the movie and they're adults in real life, it can kind of disconnect you. But Stranger Things, the Duffer Brothers did a good job with it. The writing, the story, everything, the visuals. I really like it. So I'm not gonna let that deter me to where I I'm not gonna watch it. So I'm definitely looking forward to the first part of season 2, season 5. I'm sorry, next week. And we're actually gonna do a watch party, me and my kids, next week. So yeah, shout out to that. Shout out to the Bears, man. Shout out to the Bears. We did it. We pulled off another one. We 7-3, number one in our division. Wins ain't easy to come by in the NFL, and for whatever reason, we always have to wait to the end to pull out the win, and it is definitely it plays on my heart, man. I'm old, so when I watch the Bears and they give up a lead and we got like 2 minutes left, it's like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? But we've been pulling them out, man. Now I'm not saying I'm comfortable with that. I do not want to keep having to pull out wins in the last 2 minutes, but I will take the wins because, like I said, getting a win in the NFL is hard. And with Detroit losing last night, we're officially number one in our division. When was the last time that happened? I do not know. Sometime probably when Rex Grossman was our quarterback. But either way, man, I'm in a good mood for that. I'm in a positive mood. And with this world, with everything going on in this world being so bad and so negative, you still got to try to find a way to be good in it, or find good with the things around you. And that's a choice. That's a choice. And we'll get into choices later on. But real quick, man, something I saw on the social media, going down a rabbit hole. This Tim and Brene thing. Yeah, I'm not finna get into the whole shebang of it because it's a lot. And it's so crazy how this woman really thinks that she's innocent and her actions are justified when she took her best friend's man. Like, and it wasn't just like them cheating. It was way deeper than that, y'all. Like, way, way deeper. I'm not gonna get into all that, but I will say this. Some states, man, the laws they have, they allow you to do certain things. And in the state of North Carolina, you can sue your the person that cheated. You can sue them. You can actually sue them for cheating. And that's what Akira did. She sued her friend Brene for basically cheating with her husband. Alienation of affection, that's the judicial term. And she won. She won. And that ain't even the craziest part. The craziest part is Brene, the girl that was cheating with her husband, her friend Akira's husband. She defended herself in court, and she really was convinced that she was gonna win. And her whole case was built on lies, like real, actual lies. And it's like, man, was this guy worth it? And it's so, the rabbit hole with him is so deep because he allegedly slept with her sister, and her sister's kids is Brene's twin sister's kids. One of them could be his. So it's a mess. But I just want to say, man, it's really simple. If you want to cheat, or you think you have an urge to cheat, or not happy with the person you with, just tell them. Just say, hey, look, this ain't working. And it's like, okay, well, what can we do to make it work? Sometimes you can fix it. Sometimes you can't. But you got to give your partner that courtesy. If you married them, they were married. This is your wife. Hey, this ain't working. Or I'm not feeling this, I'm not feeling that. Get them the chance to try to work on it. Communication, that's one of the most important things in a relationship, right? Say, hey, look, I'm something ain't right, something is off. I'm just not feeling this, yada yada. Well, well, what can I do? And sometimes they can't do nothing, right? If the love is gone, the love is gone. Like, well, I don't think you can do it. All right, cool. Let's go our separate ways. Let's do this the right way. You still got to take care of your kids no matter what. That's a duh. So let's just do this the right way. We ain't got to get all messy because now you playing with people's feelings. And now you're a liar. And if you're going to lie, you're going to cheat. Now your integrity and your trust is going to be coming into question. So he could have done it that way, but I don't know, man. I think some people are just they think too highly of themselves, or they think they're more intelligent and crafty than they really are, and then that can cause delusion right there. So I think this guy was delusional. He thought, yeah, I can cheat on my wife, she won't find out, and when she does find out, we'll just break up, and that'll be the end of it. I ain't got to take care of my kids. And that, I don't know, but just man, if you got to do all that, just be single. Just be single. And you ain't got to worry about all of the paperwork and all that stuff. Just be single. Simple. I also saw on social media this woman, she was going back and forth with her child's father about changing her daughter's diaper. And she told him, I don't want you changing my daughter's diaper. You can't change my daughter's diaper because you're a man and my daughter, that's her private area. And the dude, the father was just like, are you serious? Like, really? Is this what we're doing? So he recorded it, and you could hear her like adamant on telling her daughter's father that he can't change their daughter's diaper. And later on in the video, he gets on the camera and he says, for clarity, I'm her father. I think I should be able to change my daughter's diaper. Now, her stepfather or her mother's boyfriend, he shouldn't be able to change my daughter's diaper. I don't want him changing my daughter's diaper. So that was his stance. Basically, he's saying no other man outside of him should be changing his daughter's diaper. And that was his stance. My thing is this, ma'am, you laid down with this man at some point and you conceived a child with this man. You let this man impregnate you and y'all had a child. So you were comfortable enough and trusting him enough to do that. But then when the child comes out, you have a problem with him changing the child's diaper. That's ridiculous. For me, it's more of I think it's three things. It's a trust issue, it's a control issue, or it's a bitterness issue, or all combination of all three. Because if a woman is bitter, she will weaponize her child. A bitter woman will weaponize their child. I've seen that happen before, numerous times. And it's like you think a person is one way, and then when they get bitter, they turn into a completely different person. And I've seen women weaponize their children. It does happen. Let's not delude ourselves. Let's not be acting like it ain't a thing. Women that weaponize their children because they're bitter, right? So either bitterness, which is wrong. Control. Some people have to have control of everything about their child, and at some point that becomes unrealistic, because what happens when your daughter goes to stay with him for the weekend, right? Or for the day. So they got to call you, hey, you need to come change your diaper because I can't change it. So the control thing is ridiculous. And then the trust thing. So you don't trust him enough to change y'all biological daughter with there being a problem. You don't trust him enough for that? Well, why did you have a kid with him? Like, if you can't trust him to change his biological daughter's diaper without there being a problem because you don't trust him, why did you have a kid with him? So once again, trust, if it was trust issue, a control issue, a bitterness issue, it's all still wrong. It's absolutely ridiculous. Changing your biological daughter's diaper should not be that deep. It should not be. It's something that we've all been through. We've all had our diapers changed. And so what are you saying? If y'all had a son, then you couldn't change the son diaper? Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. And I can't even understand that. Now, on the flip side, with him and the stepfather, he has more of a argument there than she does with him, because, and I don't know if she would be okay with her boyfriend or her husband changing her daughter's diaper versus her daughter's biological father, which is that's just crazy. That's more so of a bitterness thing right there. Like, this man that you met, he can change our daughter's diaper, but you got a problem with me changing our daughter's diaper? I don't no, it doesn't make sense to me. But this world, man, people do things that make them, that they're okay with, they're comfortable with, but it may not make sense to no one else but them, and they'll stand on it. I just think this diaper thing is ridiculous. I couldn't imagine one of my children's mothers telling me, you can't change our daughter's diaper because she's a girl. Like, anyway, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this, y'all. Let's talk about how the system is rigged. It is. The system, the way the system is designed. When I say the system, I'm talking about the economy and our our government structure and how it works and how it's rigged. And this isn't a conspiracy theory, because I don't do that conspiracy theory stuff, the earth flat, the moon. I don't do all that. That's not my lane. If someone wants to talk about that stuff, that's their lane. But all that conspiracy theory, I'm talking about numbers. This ain't nothing hidden. This is how the system works. You can look this stuff up. So we pay our taxes, right? We pay our taxes to the government. We have to. It's law. It's law. Who made it a law? That's for another topic. We have to pay our taxes. Gas tax, cigarette tax, state tax, property tax, tax. That's what we pay to the government. And that tax is attached to every dollar. So these people that think that they're tax or debt free, you're really not. But I don't want to get too deep. I need to make this as simple as possible. You pay your taxes to the government for the government services, right? Roads, schools, things like that. That's what we pay our tax to the government for. Government takes that money, and instead of giving it back to us for healthcare and things like that, they give it to a middleman. The middleman is the insurance companies, big pharma, oil and gas, etc. That person takes the government's money and say, hey, these people need health care. You subsidize me money, and in return for you subsidizing me money, I'll give these people health care. That's what they do. So the government says, okay, cool. So they give these companies money. Let's go with health. Let's go with an insurance company. That's the easiest one. Give insurance companies money. Insurance companies supposed to help pay your medical and dental, right? Your medical bills. The problem with that is now the insurance company goes to you and they say, hey, we'll cover you. We'll be your insurance and cover your healthcare costs, 80% of it, not 180%, but you got to pay us X amount of money a month for their service, right? So now you're paying the insurance company money for them to insure you, and they're getting money from the government. So the middleman now getting money from the government, and they getting money from you. And in return, they tell the government, we'll pay you back whatever we owe based on the money they get in, right? That's how they pay the government back. Now, how do they profit? Well, when they cover you for medical, but let's say you never go to the hospital, right? You never go to the hospital. You don't ever get sick. Well, now you paying for a service. You're paying them for no reason at all. Because if you never go to the hospital, then you never need the medical, right? You never need medical. You ain't going to the hospital. So their service is to provide for the hospital, but you never go in there. They're not providing the service, but you still have to pay them. You still have to pay them. And then when they do provide the service, they only provide 80% of it. So if your hospital bill is $1,000, they're only paying $800. You still have to pay the $200. So now you paying them and you paying the hospital. You paying the 20% of the bill, right? On top of that, they don't even have to pay for certain hospital-related things. They don't. They can say, well, this isn't covered by our company, so you got to pay this bill yourself. So wait a minute. Hold on. Now you ain't covering for all my medical. It's only certain select medical, certain select pharmacists, certain select doctors. And if I don't go through those, then I got to pay out of my pocket. Yeah. So but I still got to pay you too. And the insurance company, well, yeah. And their whole goal, how they make profit, is by not paying out. So when an insurance company looks at you and you're a healthy person, you healthy, you fit, you young, you energetic, they're more likely to insure you versus someone that's old and has cancer or smokes cigarettes and overweight, because they know if they cover the young person, they ain't gonna have to pay out. They less likely to have to pay out versus the old person because they always sick. So the system is designed to keep your money without paying you for the service. That's how it's rigged. And they get the money from the government and they get your money and they not paying you nothing. That's how that. I don't know if y'all you see how that's rigged. And it's so we can go into car insurance. The purpose of insurance companies is not to pay out. They make money when they don't. They have people that literally at these places that make sure they don't have to pay out. Like home insurance. They'll have an appraiser or a contractor, a third party come and say, yeah, we don't cover this. Y'all remember Hurricane Katrina? All that flood damage and none of that got covered. State Farm, Allstate, whichever one was like, yeah, we don't cover water damage. We cover wind damage. And they showing these people the line in their house where the water, how high the water was, and it's like this is water damage. This is water. Well, we don't cover flood damage. We cover water damage. We cover wind damage. But look at where the water is. You mean to tell me this ain't water damage? Yeah, because here's the thing: if these insurance companies had to pay out those massive amounts, they would go bankrupt. They would go in debt. They would lose because they don't make enough money to be able to pay out the claims. And ain't that crazy? How does a business thrive when it doesn't have enough money to pay out to everyone? That should be illegal or something, right? We can go to the banks, y'all. Banks do not have enough money in them for if everyone at one time said, I want all my money out this bank. The bank would not let you do that. They wouldn't because they don't even have it. They don't even have everybody's money in the banks. Your money gets traded and moved around. That window overnight where you can't make any transactions in the ATM or online, that's when your money is moved around to pay this or pay that or finance this or that. So they make money off of your money. You don't make money off your money. You put it in a savings account with a 1.4% interest rate on it. You make a couple coins here, but in order to make real money, you got to put in boatloads of money. That's how you and they reward you with your boatloads of money by giving you incentives on this and that. But the more money you give them, the more money they can make off of it. Yeah, that's rigged. Car insurance. You have to have car insurance, right? You can go your whole life without ever having a car accident. Your whole life, never file an insurance claim. But you still got to pay these people money. You still have to pay for car insurance. And they still get money from the government. They say, hey, government, give us this money. We will insure these people. You ain't got to do it, government. Just pay us, the middleman. And the government, oh, okay, give them all this money. Subsidize all this money to them. And they say, okay, we got this. Look, we gonna tell these people we insure them, but we ain't gonna do no claims. Like, we ain't really finna do no claims. We gonna make sure every claim is scrutinized and to the point where, can we not pay this claim? That's what they do. That is rigged. It is so rigged. And who regulates them? Who regulates these companies? Who regulates them? Who is doing their due diligence to say, yeah, you guys are legit? I mean, they get audits from time to time, but who actually regulates and says, y'all overcharging or undercharging? Y'all doing this too much. Y'all not doing enough of that. And you see these CEOs get these bonuses and all these expensive things and live lavishly. That's off the money that you give them. Now, the employees ain't getting that, right? But we all need jobs because we all got to pay bills, right? So it's like, okay, I'll have this business. I'll get money for the business. I'll pay my employees peanuts because they need jobs. They need me more than I need them. So they'll keep coming back to work for these peanuts. And I'll insure people, but I won't pay out. Or I'm going to make sure I only insure people that guarantee I don't pay out. So if you look at somebody, whenever you get an insurance, what do they say? You had any accidents in the last 3 years? You had any speeding tickets? That stuff matters because the more accidents you have, the more likely they'll have to pay out. So they're going to charge you more to use they services. It's rigged. It is rigged. And I don't know if people know that or not. A lot of people may not know that that's how it works, but it's rigged. We can't really do anything about that because you can't not have insurance, right? You'll get a letter in the mail. Hey, we noticed you ain't got no car insurance. It's a law, state law. You got to have car insurance or you'll get a fine. So now you're getting fined for not having insurance. Then you pay for the insurance and you never use it. So you're getting fined for not paying for something that you probably don't ever use. That's crazy. You're paying money because you're not paying money to not use something, for something that you may not use. That is 100% rigged. The only reason we are able to be a first world country is because we have something called a middle class. You got the upper, middle, and lower. We have a middle class that kind of balances between the rich and the poor. You take away the middle class, you got rich, you got poor. That's a third world country. Because the rich can dictate every single thing and the poor just has to get the scraps. There's no middle class to balance that out. And our middle class is getting stretched very thin. It's getting real thin. Middle class is I don't think is going away, but it's real. The margins, the difference between middle class and lower class is like, it's you know what I'm saying? You can see a person making $100,000 a year and they living in slums. You can see that because of inflation, cost of living, stuff like that. And it's crazy. It's like they want to get rid of the middle class. Once you get rid of the middle class, voting and all that stuff don't even really matter. You got the elites with all the money and the power, and then you got everybody else. So, and some people think that, well, as long as I have enough money to pay my bills, or as long as I live in this neighborhood or whatever, then I'm in this class or I'm in that class. And it's much more than that. So if the system is rigged, then what can you do to give yourself the best chance in that system? And that's what it's about. We have to find a way to live comfortably in any system or wherever we go. Right? Some people move overseas. They retire, they get their money, 401k or whatever, they move overseas and they live in those economies. And I don't blame them at all. But at some point you have to figure out what is the magic number for you to live comfortably. And how much money do you need to make to be able to live comfortably for the rest of your life? That number is going to be different for everybody because some people need to have designer clothes to live comfortably. So their number probably going to be a lot higher than somebody who could just live off of one TV and a cup of noodles, right? So you have to figure out what your magic number is and then what you need to do to get to that number. You can control all of those things, right? The insurance, the government part of it is only so much control you can have. We have allowed our government to, because we depend on our government so much for homes, for phones, for insurance, to where they've taken away all of our freedoms. Like, okay, well we'll give you government assistance, but you can't have a man in your house. That breaks up a family. We'll give you these food stamps, but you can't make no money. So you can't even work. Because if you work, you ain't gonna make enough money to get food stamps. Y'all, these are freedoms that are being given away. They're destroying the homes. When you tell somebody, we'll put you in Section 8, we'll put you in the house, but you can't have a man in the house, that is destroying the family. And the mother has a choice, right? She can say, "Nah, I'm good because I want my child's father to be in their life," or she could say, "Well, he ain't in his life anyway, so give me the Section 8." And that is very tragic. I think that's unfortunate. Like, to have to live that way, but to each their own. Um, you have to. What can you do to get to your magic number to where you can live comfortably? You can control that. Figure out where you want to be. Next 5 years, next 10 years, retirement, and then work towards that. That's all we can really do. You know, you'll see people every now and then, hit a lick. I'm from Chicago. We call it hit a lick, where they come up on, a large sum of money or whatever. Well, now here's your chance to get ahead. You're in an advantage. What are you going to do with this large sum of money? Are you going to spend it on clothes and shoes and food, or are you going, put it away, put it in a money market fund, somewhere where it can make money by sitting there? And that's where people's financial literacy has to come into play. And a lot of people just not financially literate. They not. That's why when people win the lottery, they be broke in like 2 years. It's like, bro, you had $1 million. How do you have nothing now? Well, they not financially literate. So they're not going to understand. There are people that wake up every single day, adults with children that wake up every single day, and their biggest question is, how is somebody else going to help me take care of my responsibilities? How is somebody else going to give me money to feed my children? How is somebody else going to put a roof over my head for my children? That's what they do every morning. Now, they live their lives, right? They definitely in the streets, in the clubs, smoking weed, doing all that. But when it comes to paying their bills and feeding their kids, that's not their problem. Like, wait, hold on. I can go to the club and put on fake eyelashes and all that, but feeding my kids, nah, that ain't my job. That's your job. Where my food stamps at? I'm gonna go buy bottles and pop bottles in the club, but when I get my water bill and my light bill, wait a minute, that ain't my who gonna pay this? Not me. That ain't my job. Yeah, I'm not making that up. Everybody knows somebody that does that. They get over on the system. They milking it, they juicing it, they living off somebody else, or they, got a whole bunch of kids and living with this person or that person, and they can't take care of themselves. I'm not saying nothing that's like far-fetched or unrealistic. It's what happens. So what is that person's solution to living comfortably? I guess for them, is living off the government for the rest of their lives. Because if you can't take care of yourself, then how are you ever going to be able to live comfortably? And we talking about generations, mother, daughter, grandmother, great-grandmother, generations that just live off the government. When you tell your child gets pregnant, you tell your child, well, go apply for food stamps. That's the first thing you tell your child. That's generational. Why would that be the first thing you tell your child? Well, go to the government, get all the help you can get. How about going to the child's other half? Going that route. Like, was that not an option? And I rub people the wrong way when I talk like this. That's why it's kind of hard for people to talk to me, because I just call it how I see it. If you're enabling a person to do bad things, if you're enabling that, then you are part of the problem. Yes, we can care about people, and we can want the world for them. We want them to be, but if we're gonna always be there when they fall on their face or they make a bad choice, we are enabling them because they're not gonna know any better. All they're gonna know is, well, if I mess up, my mama gonna help me, my daddy gonna help me, my sister gonna help me, my brother gonna help me, the government gonna help me. No. You fall on your face, you help yourself. And what's going to happen is you're going to be like, wait a minute, I didn't like this. I had to help myself. I had to do this, do that, do that. I'm not going to fall on my face again. Does that not make sense? But if all you know is I'm going to make a bad choice and my mommy and daddy going to bail me out. I'm going to do this and be crazy and my mom and dad going to get me through it. You're not going to know how to take care of yourself. Yeah, I know people in their 40s that still live off their parents. Still live off their parents. What are we doing? What are we? Let me take it back. I know people in their 40s who have children that are adults that live with their mama, live with their parents. What are we doing? Huh? What are we doing? And what is the reason for that? Help me understand. What is the reason? I'm not judging. I just need to understand. Why are you have adult children and you still live with your mother? Why? But you see the way, oh my God, my ear is itching. I can't scratch it. The way this world works, everyone has a sense of entitlement. Not everyone, but some people have a sense of entitlement. My my problems are not for me to take care of. My problems are for you to take care of or somebody else to take care of. But see, when that parent says, you know what, you can ruin your life, make bad choices, I'm gonna still be there for you, to the point where you ruining my life, and I'm gonna still be there for you. You see where the problem is already. You see it. It's clear as day. Don't get caring about someone confused with, enabling their bad behavior. Because I'll let anybody fall flat on their face. If I tell you 6 times don't do something, and you do it, you fall on your face, I'm gonna leave you on the ground. I'm gonna leave you on the ground. You're gonna learn 2 ways: the easy way, the hard way. The easy way is what I'm telling you. The hard way, life gonna show you. And some people don't agree with that. Some people say, "Man, Ziggy," but nobody perfect. Everybody make mistakes. I get that. But how do you learn from your mistake? What is the best way to learn from your mistake? Is it somebody to help you with the mistake, or you help yourself? Because there's a feeling you gonna have when you make that mistake. That feeling right there should be enough. Like, yeah, I remember that feeling. I don't want to do that no more. You know? That's what's gonna teach you. And yeah, I come from situations where I had to do it myself. So maybe I'm a little bit more biased towards figuring it out on your own, because that's where I come from. But it doesn't change. I don't even have to come from that. It's just what it is. Learn from your mistakes, do better. So, y'all, with the system being rigged, the cost of living, the world is essentially on fire. You still can get ahead, but you have to figure out yourself what do you want in life, where do you want to be, and then what do you need to do to get there. And it's not something that happens overnight. It's a process, and that's what I think a lot of people have struggles with too. They don't really know what to do to get ahead. They just like, I don't know what to do. Okay, well, start off with what you know doesn't work. What are you doing in your life that's not working, that's not getting you ahead or getting you where you want to be? Right? Take all that and just don't make it an option. Don't make it an option. Then look at what you are able to do. What can you do? Can you rap? Can you knit sweaters? Can you paint pictures? Can you cut grass? What talents do you have? Now, if you don't got no talents, right? Listen, I can't sugarcoat this. If you have no talents, right, you just a vessel. All you know how to do is what somebody tell you to do. I don't have the answer. I don't know what to tell you. Cause you mean to tell me you don't have no talents? Nothing? All you can do is lay around and make kids, or lay around and not take care of kids? That's all you know how to do? You don't have no talent, and I don't know what to tell you. Because you got to get some kind of residual income. You got to have money that makes money for you. That's what you have to do. If you work a 9 to 5 and you live check to check, if you're comfortable with that, then okay, it don't even matter. There's nothing I'm saying matters. But if you want to get to a place in life where you're able to enjoy the fruits of your labor, i.e., you don't have to work, then you gotta start planning for that. And the earlier you do it, the better. You know, when you're young, you work hard young so you can play hard when you older. if you play hard when you're younger, you are going to have to work hard when you're older. There's no, I mean, the rhyme and reason to it is right there. You spend all your youth playing around, hitting the streets. Listen, my friends, my peers, when we were younger, I have peers when we were younger, all they did was hang out, turn up, party, hang on the block, yada, 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 chase the girls, yada. They were playing hard. I was in the military. I joined the military for my daughter, couldn't go play football in college, whatever. So that was my path, the path that I chose, because I didn't, coming out of high school, I didn't have no skills and no trades and nothing. So I joined the military, whatever. Just played, turned up, hung out, and I was like kind of sad because here I am in the military, you know, every year and a half I'm overseas for 6 months doing a cruise, and all my friends, you know, having fun and playing NBA 2K and all that stuff, and I'm just like, man, I'm missing out on all that. But then at some point I realized, you know what? What is that gonna? How's that gonna help me with my children when they get older? So I cared less and less about it, to the point where it didn't even matter. And here we are 20 years later, something like that, 21 years later. It's like, look at where they at in life. Look at where they at in life. Because they wanted to play hard. Now they got to work hard. But if you have to work hard, you have no trades, no skills, no side hustle, whatever, then what? You essentially living check to check. You're going to be miserable. You are going to be miserable. You are going to be miserable in this world. You're going to just exist. And if you one of those people that don't take accountability for nothing, you're going to blame everybody else for your problems. Man, F the world, F everybody, screw this, screw that, the world against me, ain't nobody on my side. Man, don't nobody want to hear that. Be on your own side. Anybody trying to hear all them excuses? I cannot stand when a grown person makes excuses for why their life is bad. Y'all, oh my goodness. That is my pet peeve. Because every time they explain why their life is so bad, they always forget that they had a choice. They had a choice to not make their life hard as it is or as miserable as it is. They always leave that out when they tell their stories. Victimizing, textbook victimizing. Like, yeah, man, I can't get ahead because I did this with that person and they burned me and I let this person do that and I like you see you did it. It's your fault. How are you gonna be in a bad situation and do something to make that situation worse? What is wrong with you? Well, what you have kids, you don't even have your own place, but you want to have more kids? What? You don't have anything. You live with a woman, but you want to cheat on that woman. What? And then she put you out, and now you mad at her. What are we doing, man? These are real life scenarios. This stuff happens in real life. You live with a woman in her house, Section 8 or maybe whatever. You live in her house and you cheat on that woman. And she like, get out. What you mean get out? I ain't got to do that. It's your fault. Most bad choices people make, and the reason their lives are so bad is because of them. Because of them. And even when you make a bad choice, you have to learn from it. Or you're gonna make the same bad choice again. How is this? How does this not resonate with everyone? Everyone. It's right there. I can't keep making bad choices because my life's gonna be miserable. I gotta stop making bad choices. But then they keep making bad choices. I don't know, man. But life lessons have taught me that whatever choices I make, I have to live with the consequences of it. We all do. I don't know how people tell the world or tell anyone they're in their situation because of someone else, because of a man that didn't help them with their child, or because a woman didn't let them drink and come to the house drunk and tear stuff up and treat them like crap. That's you. When do we look in the mirror and say, This is my life. Am I happy with it? Yes. And there's no problem. Am I not happy with it? No. Then what do I have to do to fix it? Notice I said, what do I have to do to fix it? Not what do other people have to do to fix it? Because it's not on other people to fix your life. If you fall on hard times, and someone helps you get back on your feet, that's fine. That is fine. But when you fall on hard times and you make that somebody else's problem, that's not accountability. That's not. And I have a bias. I guess I have a bias because I come from that world where mommy and daddy didn't help me. My mom died when I was 10. You know, my mommy and daddy didn't help me. There was no government assistance for Ziggy Doom. There was none of that. All I knew was get it, figure it out. That's all I knew. So I don't come from a world where maybe somebody out there, well, Ziggy, it ain't our fault that our parents care about us and your parents don't. Okay, you can care about, your parents can care about you, but what are you doing for yourself that doesn't require your parents to help you? Y'all, that's not attractive. Imagine me meeting a woman and she say, yeah, I got the nice hair, I got the nice body, I got the nice makeup, I got the nice eyelashes, but I don't own anything. None of this is mine. I don't have my own place. I don't have my own car. My parents gave it to me or the government subsidized it. That's not cute to me. It's like, what? You don't have nothing? You really? So what do you think how far you think we can really go in a relationship? Ma'am, you can only do one thing for me. And vice versa. Dudes out there, I got muscles. I take nice pictures. I look good in clothes, but I don't have a clue about money. I don't have a clue about where I'm gonna live or how I'm gonna live. I don't know. I don't have no real life skills. I can't build a house. I can't fix a car. I can't change a tire. I can't do a podcast. I don't know how to do nothing. How is that cute? What woman looks at that and says, oh yeah, he's the one for me? I don't know, man. Life lessons should be about learning, growing, developing. That's what lessons should do. They should teach. But if you still doing the same things, then you're not learning nothing. And if you're not learning nothing, how are you growing? How are you developing? You're not. You're developing and growing in your head. But see, I can spot a fool from a mile away. I know when someone full of crap. Like, yeah, they don't know what they're talking about. Well, yeah, they trying to sell a dream. I can see maybe that's one of my gifts or whatever. I can spot it from a mile away. You talk to me for 5 minutes and I already know, like, yep, you have no clue about nothing. Or, okay, you got an idea, you trying to get trying to get somewhere in life. But this is my opinions. I'm not the be all, save all, know all. Y'all know that. I just speak on my experiences. And I do not like people that make excuses. I don't. We all fall on hard times. I've been on hard times my whole life. Every day for me is a hard time. But I ain't finna make no excuses for it. Is it frustrating? Yeah. But I still figure it out. And if I can do it and I'm just a regular guy with no talents and no special abilities, I'm just a dude in front of a mic talking. And if I can figure it out, then, you can too. So, but that's it, man. I don't be wanting to get all bleak and Debbie Downer and negative Nancy in my podcast, but I try to be realistic with my content because we got enough fluff, right? They keep us entertained to keep us not able to think and pay attention to what's really going on. Everybody can scroll on their phone through TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. They can just scroll and scroll and scroll all day. And they just getting behind the scenes, getting railroaded and don't even know it. But as long as they keep us entertained and not paying attention to what's really going on, they can do whatever they want. So you gotta stay informed. You gotta know what's going on. Even if you can't change it, significantly, still be aware of what's going on. I don't like talking to people that don't have a clue about what's going on. I don't. 90% of the time when I'm at work, I'm not even talking. When I'm out in the public, I'm not talking. Because I don't want to engage in just random. I can talk about some foolishness for about 15 minutes. But after that, look, let's talk about some how can we get here, or how can we get there? What can we do to improve our quality of life, our way of living? You know, I like to get in those kind of conversations. And then when I do, and people look at me like I'm crazy, like, what do you mean you want to start your own business and be financially independent? You got a good job. You make good money. Why are you doing that when you can buy a boat and find a lake and go fishing? You can buy a gun, find the woods, and go hunting. I don't want to do that. I want to be financially stable to where I don't have to make somebody else rich. Does that make sense? So, but that's it, man. I be running my mouth sometimes. Some people listen to me, some people don't. But I promise you this: the people that have been there from day one and support me, they are number one on my priority of things, then to-do list. They number one. All the people that support Ziggy Doom, the people that don't support me, that's fine. But you got to keep that same energy. If it comes time for me to support you, you have to, because I'm going to keep the same energy. I know who supports me. I know who engages with me, and I know who doesn't. And when I see those people spending half of their life watching and supporting and engaging with people that don't even know them, don't care about them, and don't mean nothing to them, I keep that in the back of my head. And that's not a bitter thing. It's just insight. It's just a reminder to me of how much I really matter to certain people. That's all it is. And if I matter that much to you, then you're going to matter that much to me. We're going to keep that same energy. So, as always, man, thank y'all for watching. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and until the next YouTube video, be easy.